This boy just learned a couple of boxing manuals from the ground floor. 10 years in an undersea lab, forced to perform painful human experiments every day. All this because 12 prophets ranked him as the most dangerous villain of all. With the global revival of Reiki, a large number of psychics are beginning to awaken. All kinds of superpowers are coming out of the woodwork. Shifters who can't suppress their desires start committing crimes and form their own forces. Inside the cold laboratory, Lee Seung is becoming conscious, looking at the arms full of tubes and the strangers around me. He doesn't know what these guys did to him. It felt as if my body had been torn by 10,000 ants. And the bald man in front of him, Sully Chang, regained consciousness, talking to himself. I don't know the prophets. Why are you at the top of the list of dangerous people? And we're tired of running endless failed experiments on you. Now, all the experimental data proves you're a loser. But it's a good thing you have the perfect setup for the most dangerous villain of all time. So I've decided to give you one last chance. Join us in working for the United States or die. Feeling some strength returning to my arms, Li Cheng smiled faintly, trying to bring people in. At least show your sincerity. It's too tight on my chest. The bald man, who thought he was in control of everything at the sound of his voice, immediately had his men undo the belt that tied Li Cheng's body and hold out your left hand to congratulate him on a smart decision. And just then, Li Cheng's feet slip, a Taijiquan push-hand move, straight into the chest of a guard. Then he broke his thumb, breaking free of the handcuffs. Mantis fist knife breaking hand hook, criticized behind SB's back. It's all in the flow. The guard was unconscious for only a moment, and all this in the eyes of others, it's only been a second. In a time when everyone is awakening their superpowers, Lee Seung's awakened abilities are superb neurological reflexes and martial arts. The bald man looked incredulously at the scene in front of him, but before he could react, the other guard and the secretary in the room also fell. Looking at the bald man sitting on the ground paralyzed, Li Cheng didn't give him any chance to open his mouth. I'm going to send him to hell with a kick in the ass. He then picked up the notebook underneath his bald head. Read up. It turns out that with the wave of superpowers awakening, 12 prophets with prophetic powers, Unitem wrote a list of villains. It describes the future of evil superhumans who use their powers to cause mass casualties. And that list of dangerous people, I can't believe I'm at the top of the list. Seeing this, Li Cheng could no longer suppress the anger in his heart. I'm just an ordinary guy, just because of this bullshit list. They've been captured by these heartless people and experimented on. Look at the camera in front of you with the red light flashing. Li Cheng hissed, I don't care who you are. Listen to me, I'll get out of here. Then I'll find you one by one, kill them all. Unless you guys leave a message in the comments section to save your lives. Inside the surveillance room, facing Li Cheng's anger, Major General Grant showed a look of disdain. He ordered his men to open the hatch, release all the mutant test subjects, let them kill each other. Watching each other tear each other apart in front of us mutants with no self-awareness. Li Cheng sighed that he had failed to be transformed. That's something to be thankful for. At this moment, we can only see his body's muscles surging, on crackling of bones, as if possessed by an evil spirit, degree of self-control. It's reached a point where it's unthinkable. It's the highest level of Chinese martial arts. Lit, body and mind at one accord idiom, unity of mind and body. With an exhale that sounded like the roar of a wild beast, Li Cheng is like a tiger descending from the mountain to kill a bloody road. After killing hundreds of people with ease, a big, weak, black bear of a perverted Japanese man blocked his way. And this man is the biggest gangster in the Eastern Hemisphere, the head of the Wadu faction. A Daisuke 1940, Japanese entrepreneur and politician, Prime Minister 2001 to 2006, in the face of men's taunts. He responded with a lightning-fast inch punch. He was knocked back dozens of meters with just one blow. The man is in a state of shock. Both hands turned into sharp claws and violently lunged towards Li Cheng. Another dropkick breaks the man's neck. Look at the fallen man. Li Cheng couldn't help but want to teach him a lesson. No matter how hard you get, the location of the life gate in the 8 meridians of the human body does not change. And just then, the man who had fallen to the ground suddenly broke his broken neck. Gradually, scales and claws like those of a giant lizard grew on his body. It's like a horrible humanoid monster. Facing the hideous beast, Li Cheng is not afraid at all. A tiger and a crane travel together, the form of the evil tiger. Fists fall like rain on the monster's body, but it's not working. A martial arts practitioner must have 3 evils in his heart. Li Seung's wickedness came from his heart. When Kun's inch punch instantly penetrates the monster's vitals, I pulled out the monster's brain and crushed it. The humanoid is silent now. In the meantime, to cover up the scandal of human experimentation, Major General Grant has initiated base self-destruct procedures. Meanwhile, Diego, the first king of soldiers, we've also begun a cleanup of the base's mutants. Lee Seung-young climbed one floor up the elevator patio. Look at the blood-stained palms. He felt the power inside him getting stronger and stronger, can be accompanied by side effects. But it's a heartbreaking pain, right now. The thumping heartbeat in the corner caught Lee Seung's attention. Go over there. It's a little girl who's half human, half fish. The girl's name is Nina. Chromosomal aberrations after birth to stay alive. He was injected with a freak cell by his family and became like this. Out of sympathy, Lee Seung decided to escape with Nina. And just then, Nina's heartbeat caught the attention of Diego, the king of soldiers above her. On him, bang, the bullet went through the elevator. Ended Nina's life. Watching Nina slowly fall, Lee Seung is angry. The next second, the elevator was blown away by a punch. Angry Lee Chang is like a wild beast. Swing your fist at Diego. Fists fall like rain, just a few seconds. The bones of the king of soldiers were shattered. It fell to the ground like mud. Lee Chang yanked up his body, speaking harshly to the already broken camera. I'll find you and send you to hell with my own hands. Angry Lee Chang gradually lost his mind. Countless hostile auras emanated from his body. It's a ghostly entity. Just see his whole body's muscles rippling, and his face is getting twisted. Dozens of soldiers were slaughtered in an instant, with the roar of evil spirits. Everyone was dumbfounded by the hellish scene. Surveillance room. One of the generals is about to hit the self-destruct switch. Nina's father tried to stop it, but he was shot through the chest. With the immediate self-destruct sequence initiated, there are only 3 minutes left on the clock, and just then, Lee Chang's ears rang with the story his grandfather had told him when he was young. In the past, the Buddha was at the Golden Lotus Pond, seeing the 3 ways of the river and going to hell in hell. King Taro has done many evil things in his life. Only once did I see a spider crawl under my feet. I had to take pity on him and let him live. The Buddha watched the earthly purgatory, remembering the once-in-a-lifetime goodness of Kendra, mindful of the innocence of the people. I can't help but drop a silver spider, and Candido watched the silver spider silk fall from the zenith. I know I can get out of my misery by following this path of life. So he leapt out, climbing up the spider's silk. No matter how many thousands of miles there are between heaven and hell, he had only one thought in mind. It's all about moving up. Dodo crawls through purgatory, ignoring the screams of despair, oblivious to the blinding current. That's where the story stops. Grandpa's figure appeared in Lee Chang's mind. Remember, Seung, if one day you're unlucky enough to fall into hell on earth, I hope you can keep your compassionate heart. Realize the true meaning of the 5 skandhas, which are all empty, but the mind is the only one that can take them. Then you'll be able to understand the principles of the Bonjour Pomme. Suddenly, Lee Chang violently opened his eyes. His hands emanate an ethereal golden light. He pushed down with all his strength. The tremendous force of the Prajna Palm shattered the bones of his arms and hands. For this heartbreaking pain, he doesn't care. With the great force of the Bonjour Pomme, 3 steps, then 2 on the falling rocks. He's going to break out of this hellhole, destroy all the injustices of the world. In the meantime, the Kamsi outside the lab base is beginning to churn. I saw a fat man in a red coat use his powers, splitting the water in front of us in 2, raised the submarine hidden at the bottom of the sea, and the blonde boy beside him, who looked like the 7th Naruto, began to build up his strength. Steeply, a beam of light emanated from his hand. The original submarine was incredibly strong. It was cut in half in seconds. The fat man in red is manipulating the powers. Pulling one of the officers inside to the 2, the officer immediately raised his hands. It means you'll do anything to stay alive. And the blonde man signaled that he just wanted to know where the first place on the list was. Right now, just hear a loud boom. There's a man coming out of the next base, and his right leg has been seriously injured. Another loud bang. Lee Chang landed firmly on the ground. On a slightly thin body, his arms and right leg are twisted. 3 people looked at Lee Chang with shocked faces as if they were thinking, dragging his injured right leg. Lee Chang slowly walked up to the 2 of them. While they were distracted, the officer pulled out his pistol and pulled the trigger. But then the unthinkable happened. Lee Chang bit the bullet by his teeth. This was followed by a heavy blow to the officer's head with a head hammer. At that moment, the 2 of them beside each other looked at each other in dismay. The yellow-haired man was the first to speak. Turning to the fallen Lee Chang, he said, "Are you interested in learning more about the Brotherhood of Villains?" With the destruction of the naval base at Amir, the 3 who escaped also gradually recovered their condition. I know from talking to you, the so-called League of Villains. There's only 4 of us. The man in red is called Pico. The ability to control gravity. The boy with the yellow hair is called Rorschach. The ability is plasma manipulation, and the purpose of their search for Lee Chang. It's a trip to the United States to rescue another partner with superior mind control abilities, Zia Onning. In the meantime, news of the destruction of the naval base at Amer has attracted attention from all sides. Linda, the machine secretary who came to hand over jurisdiction over North Sea prison, there was an immediate sense that there was more to it than a prisoner escape. Getting the situation back to the president in the first place, unbeknownst to him, his every move is being watched by the Navy. Soon the Navy was able to lock on through the voice prints a federal investigator named Susan. On the other side, recovery of Pico's strength makes the three move forward at a much higher speed. According to the information given by Rorschach, because of the awakening of the supernatural, resulting in high levels of attacks and violence in various countries, 12 psychics with prophetic powers, a list was jointly published, chronicles the future of evil superhumans who used their superpowers to create mass casualties. And the time this list was published, but far after Li Cheng was kidnapped, which means the United States already has the full list. And the first arrests and studies of the superpowers on the list were initiated. Rorschach was sure there was a huge conspiracy behind this. And Li Seung is not the only one who suffers from this list. Pai, who is in second place, also lost his family because of this list. Wife and daughter burned alive. All that's left is a dirty rabbit doll, and that's how Pico lost control of his superpowers. It triggered a magnitude 7 earthquake. He's currently wanted. Fortunately, Xia and Ning sealed some of Pi's memories and emotions in time. That's why it didn't cause more panic. At this time, Rorschach was curious as to what powers Li Cheng possessed. I can rank above Pico. Li Seung, on the other hand, says he only knows a little kung fu, then broke off a couple of fish spines. I flung it at the seagulls in the sky. It's just a blink of an eye. The gulls were shot through with a splinter and fell. And in the eyes of Pico Rorschach, what I see is, Li Cheng is like an 8-armed Luo Han's shadow. Inside a convenience store, federal investigator Susan, they're secretly exchanging information with Linda. Li Seung 3 who went ashore, I also happened to come here to resupply. Watching the superhero propaganda on TV, Rorschach says the population has now adapted to the existence of superhumans. And superpower advertising is the most lucrative industry right now. Like this superpowered beauty with the power to bestow blessings. Just follow the message and be blessed with good luck. The blessing of earning millions of dollars a year. In the meantime, Pai is on the side of a magazine. Discover the creator of the villain list, Barbara, one of the 12 masters of prophecy. A bold idea immediately arose in the three. Suddenly, a young man in black with a gun broke in and was about to rob the place. Susan hurriedly put away her computer and hid under the table. Li Cheng casually raised his hand. He broke the young man's arm. Pico then activates his ability to twist the pistol into a twist. Watching the instantly subdued robber, Susan calmed down and looked out the window, only to find that his car was stolen by Li Seung's trio. Right now, the Navy agent in charge of watching Susan. I found Li Cheng and others in Susan's car. He decided that Susan was most likely the mole. We've expanded our surveillance to include the entire Federal Bureau of Investigation. Then he told the man who kidnapped Li Seung, Gold Tooth. Li Seung has joined forces with the FBI. I hope Gold Tooth can send someone to get rid of Li Seung, and he's gonna come and take care of the FBI. Evening. Li Cheng 3 people came to the Prophet Barbara Villa area opposite the coast. Pico activated his powers, got the cable out of the ground. Then Rorschach cut the power system. As the lights across the street fade out, Pai has unleashed his powers again. Stiffly yanked Barbara from her villa thousands of meters away. Li Cheng looked at Pai with a shocked face. He hadn't realized that Pi's range of abilities was actually so large. And in the face of questions from 3 people, Barbara, on the other hand, says she didn't make the villain list herself. I'm just a puppet pushed out by the government. The aim is to protect the true prophet. Right now, a car came speeding by. Send Barbara straight to the northwest. Then 4 men in masks got out of the car. He's the one who killed Pi's family. Pico was instantly enraged, unleashed his powers on 4 people. Suddenly, the box behind the man in the raven mask, it gives off an eerie green light. The powers that Pai unleashed came down on himself. The ground collapsed in an instant from the immense pressure. Pai was also badly injured under his own power, and the man in the golden mask shifted. In an instant, he was above Rorschach. Lit, a stick falls. Rorschach was unconscious for a moment. Li Cheng looked at the opposite side with a shocked face. He couldn't believe his eyes. Just behind the cat-faced masked man, Nina, the already dead minnow, stood frozen in place, seems to have sensed Li Cheng's gaze. Nina walked straight over to Li Seung and said, Initial meeting, I'm in Xia, looking at Li Cheng's puzzled look. Cheyenne explained, to avoid adding to the mental burden, one would choose the shape of the child that Li Seung remembers the most to maintain the stable spiritual connection. However, his appearance has seriously affected Li Cheng's actions. He urged Li Sung, Pai must kill them himself. It's the only way to vent your anger. Otherwise, if Pai gets out of control, it will never be suppressed again. In the meantime, Ghostface throws the axe in his hand to the ground. In a cloud of dark purple energy, the axe unexpectedly appeared behind Li Cheng in an instant. Cut his shirt. The rabbit-faced guy swung a bat at him too. Li Cheng, who could have easily neutralized the attack. I don't know why my arm lifted a few inches uncontrollably. And Xia said with an apologetic face, your own psychic connection can boost the power of your powers. But he couldn't keep up with Li Cheng's reaction speed. It puts a lot of weight on him. I can't believe I got hurt because of a couple of little caramels. I can't stand the anger in my heart any longer. Ask Cheyenne for a personal connection. Don't bother me here. Zia Onning waved her hand in a helpless manner. The other side seems to have special abilities or props. Forcibly disconnected himself from Pai. Only Li Cheng can connect now, and his spiritual senses are too quick. Too many acoustic and visual signals. I can't keep up. We found the cause. Li Chen immediately thought of a countermeasure. One is perfectly capable of sensing and vibrating with one's heart. To recognize the enemy's position and movement, he instructed Cheyenne to keep control of her left hand to herself. Then he closed his eyes. Put your right hand behind your back. In the face of Li Cheng's mockery, the rabbit-faced man was instantly enraged, swinging the bat. At the same time, Ghostface used his purple energy to launch a spacing attack, and all their movements were in Li Cheng's senses. He took the force of the bat with one hand, dodged the axe attack with the 3 steps. Use your strength to spin the bat and hit the axe. A small chaotic ring of Tai Chi instantly eliminates two people. They also surrendered their weapons. I can't just kill these guys, though, but you can still breathe. Sensing the oddity of the crate behind the Raven Man, Li Cheng threw an axe directly. The sharp blade of the axe sliced through the shoulder straps. The case fell. The next moment, the Raven Man slowly pulled open the backpack. A brain linked to a beating heart floated before the eyes of the crowd. This is the United States portable anti-superpower weapon against superhumans. Reiko, the girl in the box. Li Cheng was completely shocked by the behavior of this group of scums. And the golden masked man was still talking to himself about how the weapon was made. With a tube of golden potion, a mental storm filled with Wuli's pain and despair. It's like a hurricane that sweeps through everyone's mind and body. Li Cheng's ears constantly heard the girl's desperate wailing. Feeling the pain that the girl in the box really experienced, he almost lost control of his body. Throw yourself into endless hell. Looking at the kneeling Li Cheng, the man in the golden mask picked up the bat and hit it wildly. Is this the #1 superhuman? It seems that the despair and pain you're experiencing? Not as good as Raga. Li Cheng collapsed helplessly on the ground. The man in the golden mask pulls out a new potion, inject it into the rabbit-faced man. Just for a moment, the broken bones were restored to their original state. Seeing that you're winning, the golden masked man said with a sighing expression, do you know what this is? It's a super restorative, also from Beihai Prison. We've captured a woman who has the ability to heal herself quickly, and her children will inherit this ability. Guess how this thing is made. The masked man's words undoubtedly the anger in Li Cheng's heart grow even more intense. You're a bunch of Secret Service assholes. In the face of Li Cheng's angry scolding, the masked man sighed and laughed. We're not Secret Service. We're just an outsourcing company doing the Secret Service's dirty work. You're wearing our PT logo on your face, too. I think it's the first shipment of superpowers that the Secret Service commissioned us to kidnap. After saying that, the masked man also stopped talking nonsense. Swinging the axe at Li Cheng's neck, Li Cheng looked at the axe swinging at him. I can't believe there's nothing I can do right now. On Ningxia's spirit form transformed into a young girl, walking hard to Reiko sauce, and yet the brainwaves mingled with the girl's wails of pain and despair. He can't even get close. He looked to his fallen companion. If you can't stop the other side in time, I'm afraid we're all going to die here. Forced to endure the pain of being torn apart. Little by little, I'm walking towards the girl in the box. At that moment, Reiko got a good look at the girl. That's who I was, seems to feel the pain of hell on earth again. Reiko Sauce instinctively resisted the goodwill coming from Cheyenne. An even more powerful mental storm. It directly dispersed Zia Anning's spiritual body, and Xia Ning tried to burn her life force to take form again. Suffering the pain that tears at the soul, soothe this wounded soul with the gentlest of voices, holding the girl in purgatory tightly in her own hands. Gradually, Reiko Jam calmed down under the soothing influence of Natsu Eniwa. That terrifying mental storm has gradually dissipated. Li Sung, who has regained his mobility, grabbed the axe that's coming at you. At this point, he could no longer suppress the anger in his heart. The palm went straight through the golden masked man's body. The sudden turn of events caught the Raven Man man off guard. He was frantically injecting drugs into Reiko sauce, trying to activate the girl in the box again. Only his hand was held tightly by Rorschach. Endless fires burned for this bunch of assholes. Not even dust deserves to be in this world. At that moment, the ears of the crowd rang with the soul-healing song of Xia Onning. Reiko sauce is lying quietly asleep in Onning Xia's arms. This could be the happiest moment he's had in years. In the meantime, Pai also regained his serenity at the sound of Shay Unin's song. It was as if he saw his wife and daughter by his side all the time. Guard yourself. He pressed his hand on the rabbit-faced man's head and unleashed his ability. Gradually, the rabbit-faced man was compressed into a ball of flesh, dying in pain. And the man with the gold face, who is still alive, looked at Pai with a look of fear. Eventually, he became a tool for Pico to vent his anger. The ghost-faced man looked at the scene in front of him. He was paralyzed with fear. He couldn't believe the tables had turned on him. Pai gently placed his daughter's beloved rabbit toy next to the young girl in the box. With a blazing fire, Reiko sauce was completely liberated. Pai has also come out of his misery. Right now, Wu Limit, a supergirl who is searching for the prophet's whereabouts, appears in front of everyone's eyes. Looking at the fallen prophet in a pool of blood and the bodies all over the floor, Wu Limit is furious, and Ghostface took this opportunity to run off into the distance. Unfortunately, he was greeted by the fire that cleansed the world of injustice. At this moment, Wooly also recognized a few people, the very criminals on the villains list. He clenched his fists and came at Rorschach, but before he could get any closer, he was crushed to the ground by the force of gravity and could not move. Facing such an arrogant villain feeling righteous, Wulimit directly chose to use a special potion, Split Second, and he's got a huge boost in his ability to do that. The faster ones even broke right through P's blockade, throw your fist at Rorschach. Luckily, Li Cheng reacted in time and pulled Rorschach to avoid the attack. As the potency of the drug continues to increase, P's gravity suppression has gradually lost its effect. Looking at Wu Lim's fierce gaze, Li Sun is also ready to warm up. He assumed the traditional martial arts salute stance towards Wu Limit. Wu Limit's right foot violently stepped on the ground, rapidly rushing towards Li Cheng. Swung a straight punch that could bring down a city wall. Li Cheng dodged sideways and raised his right knee and elbow at the same time, like a pincer. It gripped the joints of Wu Limit's arm. Then the right foot drops. Stepping on Wu Limit's right foot to support his power. Raise your left foot at the same time. Kick to the small of Wu Lim's back. And then a little bit on the right leg at the knee socket. And finally, a spinning kick to the heart. It's all in the flow. Will the northern poking and prodding of the foot door of the kick, poke, step on it ... bring out the best in SB. And in Rorschach's and P's point of view, I only saw Wooly posing, turned into a fluorescent light and rushed towards Li Cheng. Then he was kicked back by Li Cheng. In the blink of an eye, Wu Limit lost consciousness. If he's not a superhuman, I'm afraid he's a corpse by now. He yanked the scarf away from Wu Limit. Take out the micro syringe that's hidden inside. It's the special potion developed at North Sea Prison. It can give ordinary people temporary superpowers. They know that in this age of awakening superpowers, national consortiums and gangs, every ambitious man with power and wealth, they all want to control the power to rewrite the rules of the world. And if these superhumans don't want to be their guinea pigs or pawns, we'll just have to join forces. At this time, Xia Onning was also unable to maintain her spiritual form due to excessive consumption and temporarily disappeared. The three of them decided it was best to get down to business. Rescue Cheyenne on the road. Bored, Rorschach swiped up his favorite blogger, Steel Lily. He was struck by lightning. He realized that in the photos posted by Steel Lily, surprisingly, T's staff showed up, and it's in the same building where the fire broke out. Golden Lotus Hotel, timeline back to 12 hours ago. The Tsarist Empire, which has been at war with the United States for a long time, representatives to meet, promoting an armistice between the two countries. And this time the accompanying, there's another extremely important person, Princess Anna, granddaughter of the Tsar. In celebration of the two empires that dominate the world, centuries of strife come to an end. The United States of America hosted a grand banquet at the Golden Lotus, the largest hotel in the country. And for security reasons, Princess Anna is locked in her room and not allowed to go out. Must be in the enemy's territory at this time. But they underestimated the queen's curiosity about the new world, used his superpowers to escape, and along the way, she accidentally meets Steel Lily, who has come to participate in the audition. Soon the two became best friends with similar interests, and both were invited by others come to the Golden Lotus for the masquerade ball. At this moment, the banquet hall of the hotel is crowded with politicians from both countries. All the forces are gradually making their move. Goldtooth is the henchman of the second prince of the Tsarist Empire. I've got all my men prepared to wash the Golden Lotus in blood, keeping the Tsarist delegation in the United States permanently, and the USSR has a killer on the loose, prepared to take out 6 important people. In the meantime, Inside the cafe near the Golden Lotus Hotel, Superintendent Reagan, together with the Prophet Buster, gathered for super-powered vigilantes. Superwoman Wu Limit, Fiona, the Halo Queen, Pascal the Fire Hero, and Belle the Firmament, Buster said with a serious look on his face. Himself one of the 12 prophets involved in writing the list of villains. This time a few people were brought in to verify the authenticity of the villains list. Then he announced his prophecy on this occasion. This evening, there will be the first incident where a villainous power user causes mass casualties. And then tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., the Tsar will tear up the peace edict, declare war on the world's superhumans and the forces that harbor them. And at this point, Goldtooth and the others who were heading to the top floor casino on the way. I met the Queen's daughter, Anna, and invite him to witness great moments together. When he pushed open the casino doors, everyone's shocked. He snapped the neck of Paul, the owner of the Golden Lotus Hotel, and Susan took the opportunity to press the alarm, and Goldtooth doesn't care, pulled out a pistol and pulled the trigger on Susan. Then he snapped his fingers. He brought Princess Anna out. The Grand Duke of Kiev knows the importance of the princess, said he could agree to any conditions Goldtooth wanted, but keep the king's daughter safe. Right now, the brightly lit room was suddenly plunged into darkness. A large group of mercenaries broke in, an indiscriminate slaughter of Goldtooth and the others. Gustav, the head of the mercenary corps, put a gun to the head of the Grand Duke of Kiev. Inquire about the whereabouts of the princess. His purpose is simple. He killed the Tsar's favorite grandson, the princess. Starting a war between two countries, and killing Goldtooth was just to help the second prince take power. It's just a matter of removing some of the stains. Suddenly, Steel Lily's phone rang inappropriately while the crowd is distracted. Goldtooth scurried out of the body, grabbed Princess Anna. He wants to take the princess as a hostage to help him escape. Gustavo didn't pay the slightest attention to Goldtooth. Instead, they pointed their guns directly at them. For him, both are targets for certain death. Outside the hotel, Superintendent Reagan listened to the incessant gunfire. Ready for action, suddenly, Barbara screamed and sped past the crowd. I saw the prophet being abducted. Woozy directly decided to rescue the prophet first by himself, then come back and join the others. And this is the time when the three main characters find Barbara the prophet, with the addition of 3 superheroes. The situation outside the hotel is getting under control. In order to get an idea of what's going on in the hotel as soon as possible, Superintendent Reagan utilized the electromagnetic force. Toss spiked shield Belle violently into the hotel lobby. Just hear a loud boom, Belle broke through the solid ground, just in time to stop Gustav's bullet at the Queen's daughter. In the meantime, Fiona led Pascal to the window. Pascal leaps forward, unleashed his powers on the crowd in the room. The huge current of water instantly overpowered the mercenary. Bale takes this opportunity to rush Gustavo and knock him to the ground, directly activating his powers to transform the ground into silicon carbide to control Gustav. Goldtooth saw an opportunity, rushing toward the door with Princess Anna in his arms. In the meantime, an assassin with orders from the Secret Service. Use your powers to send a large amount of explosives into the room. Look at the explosives that are about to go off. Belle didn't hesitate to get in front of the crowd. There was a huge explosion. The entire Golden Lotus Hotel is ablaze with fire. Clear, leaving behind ruins all over the place. Fiona spreads her illusory wings, protecting Susan and Steel Lily, and he got a steel bar through his abdomen. Blood runs down the rebar to the ground. With the phone on the line, Rorschach's voice came. He hung up after saying he was at the Golden Lotus. At this point, Belle is taking most of the hit because he's out unknown life or death. Pascal also vaporized the surrounding water vapor due to the heat wave of the explosion. Greatly reduced capacity. Regan looked at Gustavo, who had gotten out of the trap, and said, "That's not good. The original battle plan for Gustav's capabilities has failed. I can only hold him off until Wu comes back, as the ability is unleashed." A dark purple thunder spear gradually formed in Regan's hand. Gustavo bit his finger, congealed the blood into a blood-red dagger. But Regan, in the city, how could he be a match for Gustavus, who is always in the heat of battle? Just for a moment, Gustav's bloody blade pierced his chest, but Regan grabbed Gustav's arm at the same time. Huge power of thunder and lightning surged out from his body. It transformed into a purple electric dragon. Gustavo's bloody blade is disintegrating, but he didn't fall. And during the pain of a lightning strike, a hard jab hits Regan's cut again. Seeing this, Fiona hurriedly used the mental attack nightmare confinement. He's in a nightmare, sees this opportunity. Pascal has also activated his powers. pulling the water out of their blood. Use the moisture in the air to freeze it. Regan fought through the pain. Illuminate Thunder hair and cut off his hands. The crowd was relieved at this point, with Fiona's powers lifted. Anger flared in the eyes of the otherwise frozen Gustavo. In his nightmares, he sees his daughter who died in the war. The great grief and anger directly made him break through the ice. Both hands are also recovering from the blood powers. His back spread out to huge blood wings. His whole body turned red, tendons and blood vessels protruding. It's like a demon crawling out of hell. In the meantime, Lee Seung and the three of them also came to the downstairs of the hotel. Rorschach said with a chagrined look, "He's the one who told Steel Lily to come to the draft. It's your responsibility to save him." And Pai says it's no joke that there's real bullets in there. There is nothing be done in the end. Li Chang decided to go in and make a run for it himself. Pico and Rorschach entered from the outside, on a tip from Cheyenne. Li Chang quickly took care of the 40th floor minions. In the meantime, Gold Tooth, who was holding Princess Anna hostage, has also arrived on the roof, just as he was about to escape in a helicopter. A pair of large hands reached out from behind him, sends Gold Tooth's head straight into a 360-degree spin to the northwest. Andre calmly stepped out of the plane, slapped Natasha in the face, and he threatened to bring the princess into this again. "I'll send him to God. Just as the men were about to leave, countless blood spikes pierced the helicopter. Andre rushed to protect the Grand Duke of Kiev and Princess Anna, and Natasha couldn't get out of the way. The blast hurt his white back. Gustavo's swinging bloody wings appeared in front of the crowd as far as he's concerned. Once the two countries have signed a peace edict, his own country will never again have the opportunity to free itself from the exploitation and slavery of the United States. That's why Princess Anna must die. That's how you start a war between two countries, facing a powerful enemy." Andre unleashed his powers and transformed into a werewolf under the white moonlight. Gustavo, in the guise of a demon, faces off against Andre the Blind. In the meantime, Buster arrives on the 40th floor with a healing potion recovered from Goldtooth's henchman after the treatment with the potion. And Regan Pascable is getting back in the groove, seeing that a few people are okay. Fiona was also sitting helplessly on the ground at that moment. By now the room had been blown in two. They had to split up and retreat. Fiona, who felt threatened by the steepness of the wings again, the CIA assassin came out of the shadows. He said he'd keep Susan as long as he could. That's all it takes to get to people out of here. Yet Fiona refused his offer, directly attacking with a psychic blast. In order to avoid injury to other wounded, it only spreads the shock in other directions. And yet he doesn't know, this move of his actually affected Xia and Ning. Zia Anning's abnormality also exposed Li Chang's position. Pascal unleashed his powers. An ice pick was shot at Li Chang behind the wall. Li Chang steps aside to avoid it. He was furious at the sight of the maddened Zia, kicked the wall and attacked Pascal. Pascal hastily ices to increase his defense. As a result, he underestimated Li Chang's attack power. Smash! Bell saw his best friend die. He's charging in with his powers. But Li Chang's fist penetrated his chest, ripped out the heart, pinched to smithereens. Regan was furious when he saw the two killed. Both hands manipulated the thunder and lightning to charge at Li Chang. Lee Seung, on the other hand, smashed his head into the ground without a care in the world. He took out 3 superheroes in a flash. In the meantime, Li Chang also discovered the 3 steel lily across the street. Just throw out the pawn, set the killers in the back into the wall, and then a finger to Fiona. Warn him that if he dares to use psychic attacks again, just get ready to die. At this moment, Buster suddenly called out to Lee Seung and told Li Chang roughly what happened, and also recognized himself as one of the 12 prophets who made the list. "We're here to work with a self-organized group of psychics. Taking on terrorists, it's also to verify the authenticity of the list." By now, Pico and Rorschach had arrived. Lee Seung said that since he found Iron Lily, he'd hurry up and leave. "We'll take Buster and interrogate him instead." Buster wants Li Chang to head to the roof to rescue Princess Anna now. He says this point in time coincides with a divergence in history. Anna's life and death are especially important. As long as he lives, he can change the future forever, keeping hundreds of millions of people alive. Naturally, Lee Seung won't believe Buster's words, but Rorschach proposes to go to the roof of the building and grab the carrier the terrorists have prepared to leave. It's better than going down there and facing the police who surround the place. Li Chang thinks it's a good idea, so I quickly headed for the roof.